Hey, welcome back to Casey Grandpa Tech. Today I'm going to talk to you about robots taking over, robots doing our jobs, and the robots are now going to be forced to pay taxes. That's right. So let's talk about the history of robots and why they need to pay their own fair share of taxes. For as long as I can remember in sci-fi movies, we've all been trying to build robots, intelligent robots, robots that can take over jobs and take over the things. And I loved every minute of it. I mean, this is an episode from Fireball XL5, and no one really knew who the robot was, but the robot was always doing something and flew the spaceship and all of that. Well, today we're here. And that is the most scariest thing about it now, because in those future events, we said, oh, the robot will help us, the robot will do this, the robot will replace our job. But now, unfortunately, our jobs are going to be replaced by these machines, and they're scary because who controls these robots? And that is what we're going to be talking about in today's show. So let's get to it. Don't forget to give it a like, share, and subscribe, and we're going to get into it right now. More and more we're discovering that science has become science fact. Robots are here. We're already seeing them everywhere. But now in Korea, they have invented a robot that can fly a plane. They can mimic all the pilot's functions and make calculated risks and calculated decisions using AI to take over and fly the plane. And the reason why they built this robot is because there's a shortage of pilots right now, because as these pilots are retiring, there are no pilots replacing them. So they've decided to make that job obsolete. Let's go into much more that's going to be happening in your future. Well, the most scariest thing is now that they've connected ChatGPT to various machines and various robots, and they're able to respond and talk to us and walk. Elon Musk's robots, of course, are able to do simple tasks and everything. But now there's a company, I believe it's called Evo, that is now connecting the ChatGPT to the robots, and now they're able to respond and talk to you and answer questions and do all the things that a normal human do. And that is where we're going to talk about losing jobs and what could happen with all of this. Now, the bottom line is, of course, all of these robots are going to be deployed, and they're going to start showing up. Amazon Prime is already going to have this robot out delivering packages, and in various states and various counties. Now, first thing, I don't think it should be deployed at all, because it's, what's prevent somebody from just knocking the thing over and robbing from it? But that's a whole nother thing. But remember that these machines are replacing people and taking their jobs, which now leads to what I was talking about in the very beginning. You know what's going to happen, because, when all the electric vehicles started coming out, the first thing there was a complaint was that we're not collecting the gasoline tax that's on that to feed the roads and feed the states and all of that. So they started coming up with other ways to tax us, because the electric cars weren't paying their fair share of gasoline tax. Well, guess what? The same thing right now. There is proposals in the House and in the Congress to tax robots. And as these robots, like the one I showed you with Amazon delivery services and all of these things, start to be deployed and take a human job, they're going to have to pay a tax. It won't be called an income tax. It will be called some kind of other tax. And they're already in the books. They're already planning it. It's already planned for next year's budget. That's how fast this is happening. So let me finish. I'm wordless on this. So that is what I'm talking about. You can see, it's wonderful that in the days when I was growing up, we saw robots and the future and all the things that could happen. But yet now we're going to have robot airplane pilots, robots doing our chores, robots working at factories, and robots taking our jobs. Delivery services such as Amazon doing all of these things. And that's why now they're talking about adding a tax onto robots to pay for the taxes on wages that were not going to be collected. That's right. You're going to see that robot manufacturers will now have to pay wages for how many hours they operate that machine. Anyway, I hope this information has been helpful for you. This kind of crazy stuff, but you know what? That's what's happening. Anyway, check out our other videos about AI reviews and such like that, and we'll be back to you next time.